What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is April 3rd of 2018. Well, folks, it's time for a daily update here on the DataDash channel, and today we have a lot of different exciting things to dive into on the update. First and foremost, as always, though, we'll be spending some time looking at market valuations, as well as doing some technical analysis on the market leaders. Along with that as well, I've got a swing trade that I just entered into, so I'll be sharing that info with you guys as well. But inside the headlines, we have some interesting topics. A Japanese brokerage firm, potentially, according to rumor, is looking to acquire or gain stake in a very popular cryptocurrency exchange in Japan. So, interesting positive news into that regard. We'll get into some more details on that later. But along with that as well, Vitalik coming out in savage mode right now in the current moment over the past 24 hours in regards to critiquing a lot of big figures in this space. So we'll take a look into some of those details, and I'll give you guys all the links you need in regards to the topic. And last but not least, John Mcafee coming out with full transparency towards the fact that his tweets generate a nice sense of cash flow for him. So we'll be diving into some of the details and how some mainstream media outlets are covering the topic. We've got a lot of different things to dive into, guys. Let's go ahead and dive into the daily update. So first and foremost, as we take a look at the market, guys, we're seeing a much more general positive tone over the past 24 to 48 hours. There really hasn't been much sell side action. You go through the market here, really practically everything except a few players in the top 10 are in the green. So this is really, really good to see in the market. We're starting to see some major players gain traction. You're seeing Verge almost back into the $1 billion range. You're seeing Lisk, for example, close to the $1 billion range. Binance coin doing fantastic again, continuing the run up. Neem gaining some traction, as well as a lot of other well-established projects, and Dash doing well at 10%. So we are definitely seeing more of a positive tone enter into cryptocurrencies at the moment. Let's go ahead and take a look here at overall valuations. Again, starting to really think that we saw the bottom here at 250, guys. Again, $250 million would be a perfect even level to level out at, not to mention it's kind of generally where we started to see the parabolic action happen in price. So again, crossing out some of the ridiculousness of the last bull cycle back in 2017 might be a really good standstill point to really start getting traction again, to start getting a more stable long-term uptrend. As we go down here to altcoins as well, it's starting to look pretty positive as well as we gain a few $1 billion in valuation. Now, as we come over here as well, and we take a look here at market dominance, again, Bitcoin still holding generally around the 45% range. Other coins still continuing to gain over the past few days to newer highs, and at least in the short term. And again, we're losing dominance in players like Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin, Ripple, Monero, a lot of these kind of upper market players that are starting to lose dominance compared to other coins. And Bitcoin, however, is holding strong still at the moment. So again, I think you're going to start liquidating a lot of valuation out of these other market leaders into either Bitcoin or other coins. I think most will go to other coins as Bitcoin it shows resilience and strength. And I think it might hold around that 45% mark, but I don't think we've got much higher to go in regards to valuation for Bitcoin dominance. Again, remember, we're on a depleting cycle here, guys. We're going to see Bitcoin dominance hopefully continue to go lower over time and flush into other coins. That's just kind of the generic understanding here, is that we have a lot of other market players with a lot more both institutional adoption potential as well as just general gaining in value comparative to Bitcoin. So again, I think we're going to start rolling over here. You can start to see the trend picking up here for other coins. So let's go ahead here, take a look at Bitcoin. I don't want to be bearish on Bitcoin because I don't think Bitcoin's going down. In fact, I think we might have settled towards the bottom, guys. Now, the thing is, I have to say, I'm not really pleased with the volume right now. We haven't seen any buy-side volume like we saw back here in February. But then again, we are showing that we might be garnering some support along the lower end of this wedge here. So not only have we gained support here, but it looks like we're curving back up and are well above over $7,000. The hourly is starting to look really good. Now, here's the thing I'm curious about right now, because over the past few hours this morning, it still hasn't done it yet. We've had a really nice pop-up. We've actually had some big buy-side candles come in over the past few hours. The thing I'm concerned about is that we still haven't gotten above the 200-hour. Again, I can't emphasize enough, guys, how important the 200-hour is in regards to the short-term movements in Bitcoin. Again, we've seen that when we break through the 2,000-hour and we roll over, you start to see some serious sell-side action. And you can also see that it serves as both resistance and support multiple times on the short term for Bitcoin. So If we can get a breakout above this and find support on the 200 hour or break far away from the 200 hour and continue to climb up towards the higher end of the wedge, getting back up into the upper $7,000 range and the lower $800 range, or sorry, $8,000 range, we could be in a much better position here. Again, we need some buy side candles to come in. We need some serious institutions to start picking up here, some whales in the space. But again, we haven't seen it exactly yet. We started to see some down here. We need to see it follow through at higher prices. So I'm going to wait until it gets above the 200 hour to get fully bullish on this. However, nonetheless, it's looking much better than it was over the past few days. So we can toast to that in that sense. All right, let's go ahead here. Ethereum looking like it might test to see if this is going to double bottom. Again, guys, I hate to just remain negative on Ethereum, but I think we need to see this go a little bit lower. Again, still looking for one of those major support levels here. We can even take a look. I know some of you guys like me to take a look at the USD. Look, we're either going to maintain support here at 400, or if we falter over, if we roll over in the Bitcoin comparative, we're going all the way down to $300 for Ethereum, in my opinion. So in that case, we might still have a little ways to go. Again, we've had these moments where it moves sideways for a little bit, and then again, we continue to roll over. So I'm not too eager. We've had that happen 3 times so far on this correction. And again, ever since back here, I said that we most likely have some more sell side to go. And so far, it's been paying off. I didn't want to buy at the December highs, and it's been very good that I've avoided that so far. So I'm not going to miss out on the opportunity for this to start moving up. I'll definitely pick up some Ethereum if it gets cheap. But again, look at the difference in volume, guys. We're not seeing it in Ethereum right now. So continuing on here, let's go ahead and take a look at Ripple. Again, Ripple just tailoring right on that 200-day. If we see a nice bounce candle off, might give it a chance. But again, history tends to repeat itself in the sense that we're most likely going to see it break below the 200-day and get resistance at the 200-day. So again, that's still the general case right now. No serious consensus on it. We'll have to see if we see some market momentum. Volume is weak right now. Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin, continuing to roll over here. Nothing too dramatic to the upside or downside. Still taking a lower tone. I think this thing, again, still is going to go down to 5 million Satoshis. If we get it down there and it finds a nice base level support, I consider it for a trade. But yeah, I'm not really good, feeling good about Bitcoin Cash at the moment. Taking a look at Litecoin here. Litecoin, again, still possibly looking like it might want to come back up to these highs around the 1,760,000 Satoshi range. And if we can get it back up here, again, this could be a reversal pattern where we start to see this break up and retest towards the 50-day. So I'll consider it for a trade on that, but I haven't made any position on Litecoin just yet. Still have a better feeling that we're probably going to come down to the 200-day here. Going on to look at some other market leaders, ADA BTC, Cardano still holding in there, not making any serious trend here. We still haven't gotten above the 2,500 Satoshi range, which is my confirmation for the bull cycle. Icon as well. Still just kind of holding in there, not going down to the previous lows. And it looks like, if we take a look here on the hourly, that this is starting to flatten out and possibly reverse back up. So again, still got my long-term position on Icon, guys, not touching it. Still love Icon long-term. But I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the trade that I made. So I know you guys are going to be surprised when I type this in. I know. I made a trade on Tron, okay? Now, there's a reason I'm making a trade on Tron. It's not in any regard for the fundamentals of Tron at all. I'll be honest, I still have a lot to learn about the project and everything before I were to do any long-term investment. However, I want to tell you guys on the technical side, this is looking very strong, and I've seen what's been happening with Verge as of recent. Verge has been towering up to the upside. There's been all the hype around the partnership, but Verge and Tron have very similar technical patterns as cryptocurrencies. And because of that, I've decided that I'm going to be making a short-term trade on Tron, generally around to the 600, 800 Satoshi range for the trade. Now, here's the thing that I want you all to keep in mind. Not only have we had resistance at the 50-day 3 times in the past, but now it's garnered as support over here. So now previous resistance is now turning into new support. Not to mention, we've had a nice run-up over the past few days, a nice correction following, and a holding on the majority of gains here. So because of that, I'm thinking that we could see a potential upside. We can see some more potential upside here, not to mention the 4-hour is acting as support for the past 2 times, whereas it was acting as resistance again, still signaling some serious signs of price strength confirmation. And after having a nice run up and a nice correction, I think we could see this continue to go up so long as it holds above 4,500 Satoshis. So that's my general kind of consensus here, guys. I think we're going to move up much faster so long as the volume comes in. We're starting to see some serious breakout amounts of volume, meaning that whales and larger players are coming in and swarming up. Tron here. Again, remember, this is a very high volume cryptocurrency. In order for the price to move up, you're going to need a lot more buyers. But again, there's an equal amount of sellers as well. It just depends on the current trend in the market. If more people are willing to pay the premium on the price. So again, I bought a position around, I think it was like 480 to 481 Satoshi, so slightly down. I just made it like a few hours ago, but I'm thinking so far on this chart, I've been watching it for a while. I've been seeing what's happening with Verge here. Again, we can see the similarities. I can go ahead and compare it here. If we do XVG BTC, we can see the overlay here, relatively similar patterns. But what's interesting is that Verge showed a little bit of a kind of a step ahead in regards to the trend in regards to Tron in most cases. You can see the run-up was there earlier, and we're also seeing that as these have continued higher, Verge has taken up a little bit faster. So again, I think we're going to see something very similar with Tron here in the short term. They're very speculative cryptocurrencies. Again, that's what I'm doing. I'm just trading and speculating here, guys. But I am coming in with some technical analysis with the idea that we're seeing increased volume and that we could see some upside after the correction has come through on Tron. Again, it's at a relative discount towards the December highs. Institutions who bought large positions here wouldn't mind possibly stacking up at these lower prices in anticipation for higher levels. So that's my general kind of trade in it, guys. Nothing fundamental for the time being, just simply a short-term swing trade. However, let's go ahead and spend some time talking about the Japanese brokerage firm that's talking, at least in rumors, about potentially acquiring Coincheck. So this is the exchange that we all know about in regards to the recent hack with Neem. It was the largest cryptocurrency hack in history on an exchange, and because of that, this is pretty big news. So as we go down the list here, the brokerage firm is known as Monex. They're based in Japan. They're an online brokerage firm for traditional financial markets, but are looking to not exactly go out and outright acquire it, but buy a large stake in regards to one of these exchanges, which would be a several billion-dollar yuan acquisition of stake in the company. So this is definitely showing that, I mean, because when we're talking billions of dollars here in yuan, that's still a very good acquisition size. And it shows that Monex, as well as other financial firms and the traditional finance space, are trying to get stake in this new market of cryptocurrencies. They're trying to acquire exchanges that the FSA, financial, I'm trying to remember the name now. I'm terrible with acronyms. Basically, the major financial institution in regards to Japan, or a financial services agency, I just saw it down there, financial services agency, has been in support of, guys. Again, they've been cooperative with the FSA, and again, we already know that there's been the ties with Binance being an issue in regards to the FSA in Japan. So because of that, it would be no doubt in my mind as to why they'd want to acquire Coincheck, get a safe stake in it, and then also have a play in the market. You're going to see more and more of this, guys. It's not just going to end with Circle, which was the subsidiary of Goldman Sachs, well, not so much a subsidiary, but a fellow, a small branch of investors in regards to Goldman Sachs possibly getting a stake in cryptocurrency markets. Same goes here with Monex and a lot of other different companies. And it's going to happen on a global scale, guys. The competition is really ramping up, which means that it's going to be better user experience, more coins to trade, more opportunity for investors, and ease of use for the platform. So good news in that regard. More competition, more acquisitions, more excitement for the space. I'm all for it. So now I want to go on here in regards to talking about Vitalik, because Vitalik has gone absolute savage over the past 24 hours. And I hate to use that, but I mean, that is really just what he's been over the past few hours. He came, for example, to Deconomy, which is a recent event here with a lot of big speakers. They had Roger Ver, people from the Blockstream team, and yes, the infamous fake Satoshi, Craig Wright. So basically speaking, this is where at Deconomy, where Vitalik had called out fake Satoshi or Craig Wright. You guys can go watch the video here, hear what he has to say. I'll leave a link down below in the description. But he's also been going on a tweet storm here, and on Reddit, someone was sharing this where he was criticizing Roger Ver after his speech, where one person had clapped, and he said, Roger goes out and says, "You can clap," and then 25% of the room claps. It's like the old Jeb Bush, like, "Please clap." I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but pretty funny. I love a good meme from time to time and some savagery in the cryptocurrency community. But yeah, I mean, I think Vitalik more out of the kind of goofy stuff here. He was giving some criticism in regards to how fake Satoshi was going out and talking about the failures of the Lightning Network and how hard it would be to adopt the Lightning Network in the long term. So you guys can watch it, judge for yourself. They even had a guy jump up who actually contributed to the Lightning Network, and he said he was talking about Craig Wright saying like I helped create the lending network, and I don't even know, like I don't even understand anything that came out of your speech. So pretty much just absolutely railing on Craig Wright in that sense. So I'll let you guys go ahead and judge it for yourself. But for the most part, people have just been saying that he got absolutely owned. So anyways, last but not least, let's go ahead and spend some time talking about John Mcafee. John Mcafee came out recently stating, both to Verge and a lot of other sources, that he takes in around an average of $105,000 per promotional cryptocurrency tweet. So I know a lot of people have come out in criticism for Mcafee for this. And basically, this goes back to what many people thought he was doing in regards to trying to pump and dump cryptocurrencies. But in the most part, he's actually been sponsoring a lot of these cryptocurrencies and giving them a platform on his Twitter profile. Guys, there is no doubt that as someone in the space who is kind of, I hate to use the term influencer, as someone in the space who does cover cryptocurrencies, I understand that Mcafee is probably the biggest figure in cryptocurrencies right now, at least for the mainstream in regards to investing in crypto and keeping up with it. Now, you guys know what I think about Mcafee. I like him for the most part. He's a cool guy. I'm hoping to meet him in the future. I think he's going to be at one of the conferences I'm going to. So if that's the case, would love to sit down, have lunch with him. I've been following him for years outside of just cryptocurrencies. But the whole thing here that a lot of people probably feel mixed feelings on is this paid promotion? Is this, obviously getting in the way of him covering projects he likes? Well, I will say this. As much as I have no doubt that there is payment here, and this is paid promotion to a degree, he does go through a sense of a rigorous process in evaluating what projects he wants to cover. He gets requests from a lot of different projects. I can't get the actual quotation. I'll try to see if I can find the source, guys. But there was a quotation where he gets, I think, on average requested by 150 different projects, and they vet it down to around 5. I think it was like 5 or 6. So again, cutting out a lot of the filth, finding projects that he actually likes, him and his team like. And so it's not as, I think, bad as many people would promote it as. And again, when you're that much of an influential person in the space, again, if you want to receive payments, if that's your thing, I mean, that's a fair price tag, I think, in Mcafee's case, as they were talking about. If you divide it between the the Twitter followers, each investor would be valued at only 13 cents in regards to this. So again, I'd like to hear what you guys think on this. I don't really prefer to monetize my audience like this, but Mcafee, again, he's a businessman. He's got to do what he wants as an individual, and we as consumers will judge whether or not we feel that's justifiable or a positive thing to do. But anyways, again, guys, I'd like to hear what you all think down in the comments down below about this, about Vitalik's recent savagery against other people in the space, as well as the Japanese brokerage going out and talking about possibly acquiring a stake in Coincheck, as well as my Tron trade and all the different players in the market, guys. Please leave some comments down below. Get a discussion going. It's always nice to hear from you guys. But anyways, that's it for the video. That's it for the daily update. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned.